and welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. If you are new to the channel, I'm starting the vlog later in the day because I wanted some dope lighting for those pictures that I took earlier. I had a photographer, an actual real photographer, come out, not like me with a GoPro, and it's pretty cool. But anyway, let me get the windows up here for the audio. This is going to be like just kind of a little background story for people that are new to the channel, which based on the comments from last night's upload when I picked up this car, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Really fun video. I had a ton of fun making it. But there are a lot of new people, so number one, thank you for joining me. But basically, you know, a lot of people see the car and immediately they start asking questions, which is normal. They're like, okay, what does this guy do for a living? You know, what's his story all about? And you know, I'm not here to tell you that I started a hot dog stand when I was 12, and I am now the hot dog kingpin of the world, and I'm a multi-millionaire. I'm also not here to tell you that I have a 3-step investment process that's going to make you a millionaire. And matter of fact, I might make an entire video devoted to ranting about that bullshit, because I swear to God, it's like every week I see a new advertisement on YouTube for some guy, and it's always the same formula. It's always some douchemonger standing in front of a car, a house, on a beach or something, and trying to tell you he's got a step-by-step process to be rich, and all you got to do is pay him for it. Imagine that. Which I've ranted about shit like that before, which I might get into that maybe someday if I'm feeling angry about something. That day I can do it. But this is going to be like a background story on myself, because a lot of people do see the car and immediately think like, oh, this guy's obviously rich, maybe his parents are rich, maybe he won the lottery, and I'm here to tell you what my actual life story is. So basically, I'm a very normal, average person, and that might not sound very interesting, and that's because it's really not. If you can't tell by the scenery we're passing by, I live pretty much in the middle of nowhere near Hershey, PA. Now, Hershey, Pennsylvania is relatively well known. If you haven't heard of the place, I'm sure you've heard of the chocolate, and right here is where they make the chocolate. Right here is where they make the chocolate bars and the Hershey's Kisses and all that good stuff, and I think they own Reese's and Twizzlers, for anybody who likes Twizzlers, which I think is nobody. But anyway, very normal person. I had a very normal upbringing. Like a lot of kids, you know, I was 3 years old, my parents got divorced. That's not really that uncommon these days. But before we get into not a very happy moment, let's get some boost in here, because that's very, very happy. Boost is always happy. And here we go. This car is, I feel like it should be illegal to be this fast. Anyway, so when I was 3, my parents got divorced, and I'm also not here to tell you that, you know, I had a horrible upbringing and I was homeless, living on the street, eating scraps, because that never happened either, and most people who tell stories like that are full of scraps themselves. But you know, I had a good childhood. Like, my mom's a good parent, my dad was a good parent, but like with a lot of families, you know, growing up with divorced parents comes with its own set of unique challenges. And when my dad left, you know, a very young age, I was with my mom, like most kids. You know, most kids do end up living with their mom for whatever reason. And, you know, she went back to work right away. She went back to work. She went back to school, actually, first. She worked full-time during the day and then went to night school. And then she got a better job, which is why she was going to school. And she worked really, really hard to support me. And my mom might kill me for saying this, but she's older. She had me when she was 42 years old, I believe. Yeah, 42. So she was older. So she went back to school and, you know, was working full-time at, you know, a little bit older. And my mom is an amazing, amazing woman, and somebody who supports me to this day. Doesn't always love the videos that I make. Doesn't always love what I do in my videos. But always supports me and has been supporting me for a very long time. And if you guys have been with the channel for a while, you might remember 2 Christmases ago, I wanted to do something really special for her to kind of, you know, you can never repay a parent. You can never repay, I could never repay my mom. But I wanted to do something special for her because of all she sacrificed for me. So I bought her dream car for Christmas 2 years ago. Time flies, by the way. Before I bought myself, you know, a McLaren, because I wanted to give back to her. And she is just an amazing person. So she sacrificed so much to raise me right, and I credit a lot of my success to her. I mean, most of my success to her, because she gave up so much for me so that I could, you know, have a good life. And we never had a lot. You know, we were what I would say like lower middle class, but I always had food to eat and a place to sleep. I think I wore the same 4 or 5 outfits through all 4 years of high school, but that's also because I didn't care. You know, I was never the kid who, like, I was not a popular kid. I was pretty much a loser, you know, I'll fully admit it. But I was never the kid who, like, was gonna spend money on clothes and had cool shoes, and that just wasn't me. You know, it just wasn't me in any sense of the word, and still not. Like, people rag on me. They're like, dude, why don't you buy a new shirt, or why don't you, like, wear shirts that don't have bulldog hair on them? I don't care. You know, I don't care about the clothes. I spend money on cars, and that's really it. So very normal childhood. You know, we didn't have a lot, but I always had a place to stay, and it was great. But, you know, with that being just me and my mom in the house, and we both have a very similar personality, which we're both very, I'm going to say it nicely, and I'm going to say that we were and are very driven individuals. You know, now, I'm not going to use the word stubborn and impatient and bullheaded, because that would be bad, even though it's probably true. So we clashed a lot, and that's why when I was 18, I moved out. I got a roommate. We got a little apartment, and it's actually pretty cool. This is where my videos started out. So I was making videos from my apartment. Unfortunately, I did delete a lot of videos. Early videos when my YouTube channel started kind of taking off, I didn't want to look unprofessional, even though there's nothing about me is professional, because I use a friggin' GoPro. Now the sun's in your eyes. That's how unprofessional I am. So I deleted some of the old videos I had, which is a shame, because looking back now, I wish I hadn't. I'm sorry, this sun is really, now I'm pissed off at myself for doing this. So I wish I hadn't deleted those videos, but yeah, I mean, the thing about me is, you know, if you ever wondered where I started and what my origin story is on YouTube, you can literally go back and watch. I started making videos in a little 2-bedroom apartment with my roommate, and, you know, here I am almost going on 4 years later. So the easy answer to what I do for a living is YouTube. And, you know, I'm not going to give you the whole runaround about bullshit. I'm a full-time YouTuber. I've showed my income many times in different uploads. I might do that again. I might do an update video on it, but that's what I do full-time. And before I go any further, I want to say that, you know, thank you to all of you for making this possible. And I really, truly mean that. I feel like some people take it for granted, and even I do too sometimes, because, you know, when you are a YouTuber and I try to upload every day, I oftentimes get wrapped up in what I'm doing, and I forget to just slow down and remember how thankful I am for all of your support. And I really am. The fact that I can do this is insane, because like I said, there is nothing special about me. I'm not unique really in any way. I found a niche that I love doing, and I really genuinely love to make YouTube videos. I get up every day and I love it, and it works. So I'm very thankful that I get to live this life, and I'm very appreciative of that. And I want you all to seriously know that from the bottom of my heart. It's a freaking dream come true every day. It really is. I don't know if it'll last forever, but I appreciate the time I have. So anyway, yeah, very normal childhood, and I started working when I was 14, you know, my first job, because people see a car like this, and immediately they think like, oh, you must be rich. And I'm not rich. I mean, hell, the car's financed. I would lease them. People sometimes think I lease, and there's nothing wrong with a lease. You know, I would lease, but I drive too much. You know, I put 12,000 miles on my old car in 11 months. A lease, I would get killed on a lease. So I do have to purchase and finance my cars. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I've been working since I was 14 years old, and a lot of people see a car like this and immediately assume like, oh, he's rich, won the lottery or something, parents are rich, whatever, and that is definitely not the case. Never had the mommy and daddy money. Obviously, you can literally go back and watch the videos. So, you know, I think I'm a better person because of it. You know, I really am looking forward to having a family and giving my kids everything they want in life, but I'm gonna make them work too, because I feel like we all know kids that have everything given to them, they end up being huge douchebags who don't do it. Very, very rarely are they successful. And, you know, I want my kid to be successful. So I think I'm a better person because of it, and I'm a very driven person. And if you have a goal and you're willing to work for it, you will accomplish it. Like, there's no stopping you, especially in today's world with the internet and, you know, us younger people. The possibilities are endless. You can do anything with the internet to make money, and take that how you want it. And there's a lot of ways to make money on the internet. It can be good things, bad things, illegal things, whatever. You can make a lot of money on the internet. So, yeah, I started working when I was 14, and my first job was at an auction house, and this was an interesting one. It was under the table, so hopefully the IRS comes and arrests me. It was under the table. This old person is driving 35 and a 35, how dare they? This auction house, so I was a runner, right? So I was 14 years old. So when and it was a restaurant auctioneer. So we'd go into like a closed down restaurant, and it was a lot of times Chinese restaurants. And if somebody bid on a dishwasher, and they won the bid, then I would take the dishwasher to them. So load it up on the dolly and take it out. That was one job. I worked at Subway for a while. Out of all the jobs I had, I didn't mind the manual labor. I actually like manual labor. It's easy. It's hard work, but it's mentally easy. And you don't have to deal with people, which I really like. I hate customer service. I hated it. That's why I think Subway was my least favorite job I ever had. Subway was awful, and I only lasted like 6 months at that job. That was the worst thing ever, Subway. I knew right then, right away, that I wanted to focus on school and getting a good job and not doing that for the rest of my life. Not that there's anything wrong with it. You'll learn very quickly about me. I am not the type of person who shits on somebody for what they do for a living. You know, I believe it takes all kinds. You know, I have never, and my mom was the same way, and she really instilled this in me, like, never look down on somebody for what job they do, because every job is really important, like really freaking important. If you don't have, a lot of people, like, they'll shit on McDonald's workers, and it's like, I really enjoy the fact that if I go to McDonald's, people make my food. Like, I'm appreciative that people do that job. So I never shit on people because of what they do for a living. It takes all kinds of people in this world, 100%. So I didn't want to work at Subway, though. That was not for me. Then I worked at CJ Pony Parts, which a lot of you guys might know from the car world. CJ Pony Parts is a massive Mustang parts distributor, and now they do parts for like all Fords, I think, and Ford trucks and stuff. So that was pretty cool. A lot of people would know that. And I like that job too because I was an order picker. So I worked in the warehouse. Didn't have to, anything where I don't have to like deal with customers is great. You know, I don't like customer service. Not sure what the Volvo's doing. He's taking a picture. So I worked at that job and I didn't mind it, but basically, you know, I was the kid in high school. Like I said, I was a loser. And I also didn't have a lot of motivation back then. And it was kind of unfortunate because I wasted my high school career being like this somewhat miserable teenager. And looking back, like if I had gotten my shit together, I could have had a lot more fun. But I was in high school and I didn't care about getting good grades. All I wanted to do was get home and play Call of Duty. If I was in high school today, it would have been Fortnite for sure. I would have been the kid. Well, hell, maybe now it could be a job. I could have been a streamer. But back then, all I wanted to do was play Call of Duty. And I didn't care about school. But later on, I started to get the motivation when I saw that when it was like my junior year, and I started to realize that, like, you know, if I didn't get some direction and if I didn't do something with my life, like what was I gonna do? You know, and my parents didn't have money. I wasn't gonna have things given to me. So how was I gonna get a house? And I loved cars, always did, but I was driving an '89 Silverado at the time that I bought for $1,000, my first ever vehicle. You know, how was I gonna ever buy a Corvette, which was my dream car at the time? You know, how was I gonna buy any cool car at all, much less a Corvette? So I started to get some motivation, and I started looking at, like, what do I like in life? And I looked right to the money. And ultimately, I came to the conclusion that managing money was something that I was good at. I enjoyed it, and I felt like it was interesting. I'm pretty good at math, so it kind of worked out for me. So I pursued a career in finance and wealth management. That's what I went to school for. This is the slowest turn. Yes, I am waiting on a person to make a turn. We're done with the turn now. It took a long time. Anyway, so that was my education. That's what I got a job in, and I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I thoroughly enjoyed my job before YouTube. But you know, I really enjoy what I do now even more. And if I ever have to go back, that's fine. Maybe I'll do something car related or do something different. But just listen to this shit. But yeah, I mean, so that's what I did, and I really kind of got my shit together later in high school than I should have. Like I said, I should have gotten my shit together earlier, but eventually I did, and I'm very thankful for it. And ultimately, now I do YouTube full time, and basically all that happened was, it's really not that crazy of a story. I mean, it's pretty crazy how it happened to me, but it's not anything special. I started making videos one day. The original videos were of my old truck, my '92 Silverado I had at the time. And it really just kind of started to take off. And I made a calculated risk when I got this. I had a Hellcat back in the day. And I was thinking to myself, the Hellcat's a cool car. I had a buddy who was the manager at a Dodge dealership. And he said, and this was like early 2015, so this is when Hellcats were like, they MSRP'd at like 58, but every dealers were selling them for like 80 grand. Like they were going way over. But my buddy was like, hey, I can get you one at MSRP. And I knew right then and there, I was like, if I can come up with like 20 grand to put down on this Hellcat, you if I could get some money to put down on it, then I could buy it for MSRP, probably sell it in a little while for what I paid for it, and make some cool content with it. And it was also a really cool car. Like, I wanted the car to begin with, and I also thought I could make good content with it. So the Hellcat really helped my channel blow up, and one thing led to another, and here I am 3 years later, and it's just that this is what I do full time now. I love it, and I make a really good income doing it. And there's other streams as well, so it's not just the YouTube ad revenue. There's also, of course, sponsored videos. I work with companies. I don't work with any company, but I do work with companies that I really like companies that I actually like and I actually use, and I think that you guys would like. I wanted to give you guys the backstory of me, and that's who I am. And really, truthfully, like I said, anybody can do this. I'm not saying everybody's going to be a YouTuber, but if you had asked me 3 years ago if I was ever going to have a McLaren, I would have said no. But here I am, and there is really nothing special about me. So I truly believe that if you want something, if you have a goal, if you're willing to work for it, and not just blindly work also, but be smart about it and find out, because there's people who work really, really hard and they never get ahead. So you have to work really hard, but you also have to be smart. You have to approach things maybe in a different way, or you have to try something different. You have to try to get a different job. A lot of people have a job and they make a certain amount of money and they're comfortable, and they're comfortable, but they're never going to have a ton of money, and they'd like to, but they don't want to leave their comfort zone. It'd be a lot harder if I worked a 9-to-5 job and I had a family to support and I had to, maybe leave that to try something new. That would be a lot harder. I totally get that. But if you are willing to work for a goal, you can definitely reach it, especially in today's world. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this upload, and I hope you're enjoying the 720S content so far. Much more to come. If you did enjoy, don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching. As always, take care and have a great night.